How's about an energizing sequence? So we're going to start let's start in child's pose. Knees can be a little wide, wider than the hips. Big toes can come together. And when you come down into it, if you're already down, that's fine. But when you come down into it, right, sink the butt towards the heels and go ahead and walk yourself out, just kind of nice and slow. And try to lengthen the spine as much as you can on your way in. And then when you get there, go ahead and push down, even come up onto your tentapods, your 10 fingers. Right? And as you come up onto your 10 fingers, notice what happens in the shoulder girdle for you. Right? For many of us, when we come up on the tentapods, because the humerus bone has raised up a little bit, we're asking a little more of that area. Of course, leave your palms down if that's better for you. Well, with the fingertips pushing down, we can also often find a little more of the forearms lifting up, that buoyancy in the armpits I sometimes talk about. Rotate your outer upper arms in towards the face. And then really slowly bring your hands back down, your palms. And try to keep a lot of that pressure in the finger pads, right? So yes, some is in the palms, but rather than having it all in the palms, and particularly the heel of the hand, we want to have a lot of it in the finger pads as well. And then if you do that, again, our beginning awareness right now is just me breaking down some really little things and you trying to bring your mind's awareness to it, yeah? So as I push down through my finger pads and some of my palms, I'm going to feel the very center of my palm kind of suck up away from the floor. All right? So see if you can't find that action for yourself. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and come on up to hands and knees. Now move those hands back a little bit. Move the knees in, out, and the feet out a little bit, right? So you get into a more classical tabletop position. And notice how that when you do that, if you don't bring your awareness, you're immediately all in the heel of the hands, the wrist, right? So can you, again, find a little bit of that action of pushing down into your finger pads, shoulder blades slide down the back, reach the chest forward. Take an inhale, move into cow. And exhale, pulling up into cat. Do that a couple of times for yourself. You're not in a rush. Just because I said energizing sequence does not mean we rush, right? We'll do things that bring us energy that hopefully will keep the mind calm even while we energize our physical body. And so, not moving really fast and not moving with a really shallow breath are two ways that we can keep that mind nice and calm. And then once you finish this next one, you're going to go ahead and come on back to your neutral, just to say hi to the pelvis briefly. Go ahead and if you had a tail, I would ask you to circle your tail around. Just kind of wake up that sacrum low back juncture. Go ahead and go the other way. And a little bit more where the thoracic spine and the lumbar spine come together. Come to neutral. Start to rotate the rib cage. Right, so just make big old circles with the rib cage, and then go ahead and go the other way. And just to get into the upper back a little bit, I don't find this is the most effective to completely get it going on, but it still works pretty good. Turn your fingers in towards each other, and then go ahead and you're going to start to bend one elbow and circle that way, and then bend the other elbow, and just doing big old circles this way. So, and the reason I say that is because you'll probably notice it's a little bit more maybe in your shoulder girdle than it is in your upper spine, but go ahead and go the other way. We're still getting some mobility. And then come on back to center. Walk those hands about 2 inches in front of your shoulders. Push down into your finger pads as well as your palms and get out of the wrist. Curl the toes under as much as you can anyway. And then go ahead and start to make your way back to that first downward dog. Now, as always, I will encourage you to bend the knees quite a lot. And as you bend those knees, same idea as what we did in our child's pose, right? I'm going to push down into my finger pads and my palms. I'm going to see if I can get my forearms and my armpits to get a little buoyant. Rotate my outer upper arms into my face. And then I double check in that upper back. I don't want that upper back to round forward, nor my low back up to the sky, right? And my flexible friends, we don't want our abdomen and our belly to just flop down to the ground either. So find that neutral. My flexible friends, it's not as sensational, but it's more stable for your body. Take another breath here. Don't worry about the straightening of the legs. You'll get there, I promise. You're going to go ahead and you're going to bend your right knee a lot, straighten your left leg, and then stay there. And move your hips a little bit over to the right, lengthening through that left arm. And then come on back through center. You're going to bend the left knee quite a lot, straighten the right leg a little bit, sway the hips to the left, and reach out of that right arm. Forward, by the way. And then come on back to center, raise the knees, find the spine, and reach the heels down and the thighs back any amount. Take a breath. Inhale the right leg up into the air behind you, and bring it forward between the hands, and step the left foot forward. Hands on the shins, reaching the chest forward. Exhale, fold. And inhale. Those arms can reach out to the side or hands on hip, whichever version feels better in your body. Exhale, bring those arms out and down. We're just going to start to go right into it. Inhale. Exhale, fold. 1/2 salutation here. Hands on the shins, chest forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing. And exhale, arms down by the side. And remember, modifications that work for you today. Inhale, even if I'm not calling them all out. Exhale, fold. Hands on the shins, chest forward. Bend your knees, plant your hands, right foot back, left foot back. You're in the top of a push-up. Yeah, knees can totally come down. I'm going to bring them down for my first round. I'll get you to a full push-up, I promise. And again, notice that the weight is probably in the heels of your hands, right? So push more into your finger pads. Feel that inner part of your palm. Suck up away from the floor best you can. Shoulder blades down the back, chest a little forward. Push those heels back. And then exhale, come forward on the tippy toes and come all the way down to the earth. Low Cobra. Press into the tops of the feet, the thighs lift, and then inhale, come up as far as you can without pushing down and putting any weight into your hands at all, right? And then pull your hands back, pull your elbows back, and pull your shoulder blades back, and see if that doesn't get you a little bit more of an arch in your upper thoracic spine. Keep that low belly toned in, and exhale down a little bit. Curl the toes under. Feel free to leave the knees down for the first round. All the rounds if you want to. Go ahead and push into your hands, but pull that belly up, and exhale back. Let's meet in downward dog. And it's not a hand and wrist class, but really every time you come into these poses today, check into where do you have the weight, yeah? Most of us will put it in the heel of the hand, and the wrist bears the brunt of everything, right? So we can start to strengthen our fingers and our palms, and we can start to share that weight with the wrist. Inhale the left leg up into the air behind you. Exhale, step it forward. Step that right foot forward. Inhale, reach the chest forward. Exhale, fold. And inhale, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, arms out and down. Slightly different variation. Inhale the arms forward and up. Exhale, sit down into a chair and swing your arms behind you. Inhale, forward and up. Tone the belly, that low belly, right? Exhale, weight in the heels. Reach the arms back as high up as you can. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, sit down into your chair, reach those arms back, reach your chest forward, tone the belly and the ribs gently up. Now reach your arms forward, staying in the seated posture, right? And if you can't see your toes, you're way too far forward with the knees, try to put more weight into the heels and more weight into the heels, try to sit a little deeper, and then inhale all the way up, waking you up. Exhale, folding in, no matter what time of day it is, I might be waking you up. Hands on the shins, reach the chest forward. I'm not, you are, I'm just telling you what to do. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step your left foot back and then your right foot. Top of a push-up. Put the knees down if you'd like to. Holding the push-up, push the heels back, reach the chest forward, look a little forward, put more weight into your fingers. Exhale forward on the tippy toes and bend and come, bend the elbows and come all the way down, not the rest of the body, the elbows. Inhale into low cobra. Move your hands back next to your low floating ribs, right? Keep that belly toned in. Don't do this if it goes into your low back. Maybe with those elbows moving back, you start to straighten the arms a little bit until you feel like you can no longer keep the length of the low back. Chest reaching forward enough, shoulder blades rolling back, or shoulders, outer shoulders. Exhale, come on down. My mind's not awake yet this morning either. And then inhale, come on back. Downward facing dog. Breathe. I love autumn, and autumn suits my constitution really beautifully. But, you know, it is still dark in the mornings when I wake up. And so there's definitely that quality of like feeling like I'm waking up a little harder. It's a little harder to wake up. So you may be experiencing that as well. Coming back through center. If you were moving around at all, like I just was without telling you you could. Reach the right leg up into the air behind you. Step the foot forward. And then you're going to bring that left heel down. Quick glance. Make sure your right heel is in line with your left archish. Bend the right knee, and then left arm's going to windmill, and you'll come up to warrior two. I am not mirroring, so just know that when you look at me, I will look the opposite of you, yeah? Right hip point up. Coming deep into that bend. The more weight I put in my right heel, the more I can. I'm not introducing anything new. Pushing that back, outer left heel down, right? Interlace your hands behind you. See if you can wrap your knuckles around the right hip, the front hip, and roll that left shoulder back behind you until your chest is parallel to the long edge of the mat. Okay? Reach the crown of the head up. Now reach your arms back out to the warrior two, the classical position, and maybe turn and look over those right fingertips without your left shoulder rolling forward. Left arm down, right arm up. We're going to go into a series. Reverse warrior. Reach out of that right side. Breathe. Lengthening out forward over that leg, bringing that arm down, or use a block if you'd like to. That left arm can reach all the way over, or hand on hip, elbow back, right? Push that left heel down, maybe turn and look up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale up to warrior two. And exhale, come all the way down. Go back to downward dog if you don't want the push-up series. Otherwise, here's your push-up series, right? Chaturanga Dandasana. Into your upper back bend. You can add in your upward dog now if you're ready. And exhale back. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Same series, other side. I'm going to switch my body just for visuals for you. Inhale the left leg up into the air behind you. Exhale it forward between the hands and drop the right heel down. Again, quick glance, left heel in line with right archish. Bend the left knee, and that right arm's going to swivel around. Obviously move if you need to find balance, but that kind of puts us on a balance beam. Sometimes people tend to be a little too far over to the left, and that makes it a lot harder, right? A little bit of weight in that heel, that back. Outer right heel reaching down, left hip point pulling up, nothing brand new. Interlace if you can, or grab a strap. Wrap your knuckles around to the left side, and make sure I don't turn off my microphone. And when you do that, right, what I'm trying to get at is that right shoulder rolling back so the chest is parallel to the mat. And then keep that best you can. Reach the arms back out. Keep that right shoulder where it is. Maybe turn the head and look over the left fingertips-ish. And you know, then there's that breathing thing. Right hand, right thigh, left arm reaches up, lengthen out of that left side waist. And reverse warrior. My hair is wily this morning. And reaching out over that left leg, bring that forearm down, right hand on the hip, or the right arm reaches all the way over. Side angle, Parsvakonasana. Breathing wherever you are. Yep, I'm having you hold these for a little bit, I know. Inhale up to warrior two. Get your heart pumping, right? Go ahead and roll, come on down, windmill down, step back, last vinyasa series, or not last vinyasa, last push-up series. Exhale, come forward. I don't love that a lot of people call that vinyasa, because vinyasa just means when the breath is linked to the movement. And I think coming to the point where we think that is vinyasa, doing 20 push-ups in a class, really shortchanges what vinyasa truly is. So I call it the push-up series. Take another breath here in downward dog. Bring those knees down a little wide. Bring those big toes to touch, buttocks towards the heels. Stretch those arms forward for just a moment and lengthen out the spine. And then come into whatever arm variation you'd like to. That's a resting arm variation. Put your hands under your shoulders-ish. Push the ground away. Come on up. Pause in a seated position with your feet pretty wide. And your arms can be behind you for resting. You know, I apologize if the quality's not great. I put it a little closer to my mouth than I often do, and I feel like it's really up on me sometimes, so I apologize. Let the knees move to the right. So if you can get a 90-90, do. But remember that if that's really hard on your hips, you can always bring the heels closer to the body, and shin box is often a little easier for our bodies. I don't think those are the yoga terms, but they still work. And then if you want to do a little bit of core, you're going to remove your hands from the floor. You can put your hands just in front of you. I like to interlace them behind my head just to give them kind of a home, especially for where I'm going to go next, right? And you can keep doing that. We've done this before, but it's been a little bit. And then the next time you go over to the right, I have props in my way evidently, you're going to maybe boost yourself up. So you have 3 places you can be living right now. You can just have your hands on the ground and be like, oh, Crystal Joy, you are hilarious, right? You can lift your hands up, but still keep your buttocks grounded the whole time. Or you can be lifting up to the knees. Go ahead and go to the left one more time. And then when you come down, we're all going to meet with our legs moving up to the center. Go ahead and let those legs come on out in front of you. Find a neutral spine, and if that means bending the knees or sitting upon height, please do. Inhale those arms on up. Exhale, folding forward, grabbing shins or toes or whatever works for you, right? As always, I invite you not to pull your shoulders out of your sockets, just to try to get a hold of toes. Maybe lengthen that spine one more time and try to reach those buttocks bones behind you, remembering to reach the heels forward in opposition. And you know, hopefully you're pretty squarely in your hamstrings right now. Morning, afternoon, evening. Inhale, reach the chest forward. You're going to come all the way down onto your back body. We won't be in a Shavasana for long, but I'd still like to give you just a couple of moments of stillness. So laying on your back, right? You can either have the feet wide, knees leaning in, or your legs extended all the way out to straight, feet hip distance. Arms can be wide. It is getting cooler, so I remind people that if it's helpful to bring your hands onto your body to get your body temperature, the heat from the body, please do. Close the eyes. Soften the facial muscles, the neck, the shoulders, anything in your arms, hands, and fingers. Anything in your torso from the chest all the way on down to the pelvis. Take a few extra moments in the pelvis. Invite the pelvis and the hips, that whole area, that whole area to soften. The legs, feet, toes. And we'll be here for about 1 more minute. And if you're at home and you're like, oh, I gotta get going, can you give yourself 1 more minute? When you looked at the thing, you saw that it was however many minutes and you had scheduled that and you decided that you could do that. So try to stick with it, right? And I always feel like the coolest, most amazing thing is when people will stay in Shavasana even after I talk you out of it, in a home practice for online videos, I mean. So if you're in a place where you're not on a time commitment and you can just stay here for a few more minutes, please do. It's a deep rest for your body, right? If you're on a time commitment, you can make any of those small little movements, adjustments, wiggles. And then eventually come on up. And feel free to set yourself up however it is best for you. We won't be here long, but you know, again, how can you be kind, compassionate, and gentle to your body? For me, I know that when I bring my hips, this is any human body, by the way, when our hips are higher than our knees, our pelvis doesn't have to hold so many muscles to try to make that pelvis come into neutral, right? So I always kneel or put something under my, not always, almost always, right? I'm really trying to. And it makes a big difference. I don't have to see my chiropractor nearly as much. I don't have as much pain in my hip. Bring your hands together in front of your chest. Inhale. Bow your head in and just take in a moment of gratitude that you gave yourself this space and time. Pardon me, Jiminy Christmas, especially these videos, right? Because they're not the ones where you're doing them live and you're showing up on your own in your house to do these. That's awesome. I'm proud of you. Namaste. A little rambly this morning. That's where I'm at, I guess. Have a wonderful day, friends, wherever you are in your day.